So this is my second time on 39 Squadron. The first time was back in 2011 as a line pilot. So back then we were on Op Herrick in Afghanistan and we almost seamlessly moved on to Op Shader. So the things that really stick in my mind as achievements from those two main halves of our contribution. Overwatch, armed overwatch of coalition troops in Afghanistan. That was kind of our bread and butter. Looking after friendly troops on the ground, and we took a personal responsibility to protect them, and we were pretty successful in that role and really proud of our contribution in Afghanistan. And then moving to Iraq and Syria and Op Shader from around 2014, the two big achievements that stick in my mind there are probably the Battle for Mosul, which was an extremely intense, challenging time where the end result was that the coalition wrested security of Mosul from Daesh. And then moving on from there was the eventual defeat of the Daesh ground holding capability in the middle Euphrates River Valley, and that was essentially the defeat of the major fighting power of Daesh, and we had a very heavy involvement in that, which again we're really proud of. So the coalition is central to the way we operate. When 39 Squadron was reformed here in 2007 with the Reaper, that was the same year that the US Air Force brought its Reapers here to Creech. We started here together, and it's because of that coalition enablement that the UK has actually got a step up on the ladder for developing our RPAS capability. That in turn allowed us to contribute to the US-led operations in Iraq and Afghanistan as well. And we are really proud of that contribution. It has been continuous since 2007, and it's genuinely appreciated from the US side. And if you go across to the US Air Force wing here, you'll see the 39 Squadron plaque up on the wall alongside all the other US RPAS squadrons, and we really feel part of the team. Even though we're also part of the team back home with our parent unit, RAF Waddington, as the actual home of UK I-Star. So a typical day for a 39 Squadron person. I'm glad you said typical, because we do have kind of routine days here. Some of them can be more intense than others, but the bottom line is we're here as accompanied personnel. We're here with our families. Our children go to local schools, we're integrated in the community. Lots of us have partners who work locally as well. So a typical day might start with the normal routine at home, whether that's in the morning or whether that's in the evening if we're on a night shift. And then driving about 45 minutes up the road to Creech from where we all live, and starting with the normal sort of briefing cycles that you'd see in other regular RAF squadrons. So met brief, looking at the weather, looking at our personal admin and any new information that's come in overnight for the operation that we're flying on, and into the sortie brief to actually get the intelligence briefing and the task brief for what we're actually going to be doing on that mission. Shortly after that, the crew would get together, figure out how they're going to execute the mission, and then step to one of these boxes here, the ground control stations where we operate the Reaper from. We would usually sit in the box for 2 to 3 hours at a time, over a whole shift cycle of around 6 hours of exposure in flying role, with some breaks in between, and then finishing up with the debrief as a crew, any paperwork that we might have to finalise, and then the guys have a chance to do some personal admin, check their emails as usual before heading home, and heading home to dropping the kids off from school, picking them up from school, doing the evening routine with the family. Some days can be much more intense, and on some occasions, depending on the nature of the mission, we might just need to take a moment and take a breather as a crew before we feel comfortable driving down the road and becoming dad or mum or whoever we are. But that's about as typical as a day can be. So what comes next for 39 Squadron, time will tell. Whether 39 Squadron appears in the future again on a different aircraft type. What I will say though is we've been around for 106 years. We've got a rich history and we're really proud of this particular chapter in 39 Squadron's history. I feel that we've done our squadron proud. What happens immediately for us is we celebrate. We celebrate everything that we've achieved. We celebrate in a manner befitting our history. And then we make sure we leave a legacy that's worthy of our history books. And that's really centered on our Winged Bomb Association that we're launching. And then for me personally, my challenge and responsibility is to make sure that every single one of the people on this squadron goes on to even bigger and better things within the Air Force or without if they're leaving. And for the future of UK RPAS, some of those people from this squadron will actually form the nucleus of the replacement for Reaper, which is the Protector. Some of our more experienced crews will be going ahead to Protector as instructors to start that capability, to learn how to fly that new RPAS and to train the new crews on it. So really exciting for them.